everyone, it's me Cheryl. Happy New Year. It's the 2nd of January, Friday, and we've still got morning, only just, not far off it. And it looks really nice outside. It looks quite warm as well, but then again that could be the temperature inside the house deceiving me. So I hope you all had a really good Christmas and New Year. Ours was lovely, and CJ really enjoyed opening his presents. Yeah, we can always tell when somebody's got him something because we always have to help him open it, whereas if we wrap it, we know how to wrap it so you can get to it straight away. What am I going to talk about? I've got an update on the baby blanket I'm making, so I have made progress with that, and just looming stuff that I've discovered, as well as a hat loom I'm going to show you. So I shall, before I even start, you're probably thinking, what on earth is that behind you? I was watching a blooper reel of Girly Bunches, and I thought, the clothes horse. Because I've even thought about getting a privacy screen, because the mess that is on that bed, usually, because of me spreading out, I always have to position myself in such a way so it's right behind me. I move everything else in such a certain way so you don't see it. But I promise you that bed is, I assure you, there's nothing behind me. It's just in case. There you go, look. Yeah, there's not there. Can you actually see there's not there? Yeah. There's the unveiling, there's not there. It's just that in case there is, then you will never know, because there'll always be this here. I hope you actually heard what I said then. I didn't put this back up because I wanted to show you it. And it goes round in a square. This was one of a pair, oh, the other one, like it. My mum made this many years ago with scraps of yarn. Well, I assume it was scraps of yarn because it doesn't look like she's like started and finished a new colour in the middle of a row. It looks so. I'm not sure really how much scraps of yarn it actually was. So it looks like she's gone back and forth through a big square and then went round and round all that, several rows. Oh, and then she's done a panel there as well. Oh gosh, I'm really looking at this for the first time. So yeah, it's lovely. Now I say it's one of a pair. We moved house, right, in 2012. Now this, along with its partner, which looked a bit different to this, it was in my youngest son's freestanding wardrobe, which had a shelf at the top, and they were both there, along with another kind of blanket or something. We moved house, and I can only find this. I've no idea where the other one is at all, and I'm really worried. I asked my son about it, and he said, don't know anything. And I've looked all over. But I'm really worried. What if he's took it to a friend's house when he slept over and left it there? Or, I don't know, why would he just take it out the wardrobe when they'd been in there for years? He hadn't even used them in years. Oh, actually, that's not quite true. He used to use it as like a sofa blanket. But still, you'd think they'd still be in the house, wouldn't you? So that really worries me. Why am I folding that up? I'm going to put it up there. There you go, Mum. Anyway, yeah, I claimed them years ago because I'll have that for my babies. And I did. And yeah, well, I've still got one. I don't know where the other one is. Wish I could find it. Anyway, the blanket I'm making is progressing nicely. I'm on the 3rd skein of yarn, but I noticed that the 2nd skein of yarn wasn't as long as the 1st. You know, I'm sure they have, like, even though it weighs the same, there's some meterage difference. So, and actually what I've measured so far is working up slightly bigger than the actual where it says in the pattern, but then again I'm using slightly different yarn, even though it's still DK weight. Is this the top? Yes, no, it's not, it's the side. This is, the top is at the top, the bottom is at the bottom. There we go. And what's that I'm losing? Oh, better not crush that. Yeah, so it's working up absolutely lovely. So easy. So that's what's left so far of the third skein of yarn, and I've got a fourth. So I'm hoping there's a bit more generosity in that skein and the other one. I should be alright because I'm on row 56 and there's 80 to go. Sorry, yeah, there's 80 not to go. There's 80 in total, and then there's the 2-row border. Recently I did these calculations, number of pegs multiplied by the C2C gauge in millimetres. And I looked on the spreadsheet and thought, how strange that is. Because if you know, a few videos ago I very first made this hat on this loom, but I felt it was a little bit too tight. I mean, my youngest son's claimed that one now. So I then proceeded to make CJs on this one, which is bigger, 41 peg loom, and put an elastic band around the brim on the inside. And then that made it fit better, so it wasn't too loose. But when I was looking at my spreadsheet, I noticed when I did the amount of pegs, which is 36, multiplied by the C2C gauge, which is centre to centre in millimetres, all the way around, and it came to exactly the same as this one. And I thought, that's not right. That's only half the story. Because I went through this process of thinking, oh well, that's 36 pegs, and it's a bit too snug. That's 41 pegs, and it's a bit too loose without elastic. This one's 38 pegs, so therefore, as it's intermediate, it should make a slightly bigger hat than this, but smaller than the other one. No, it didn't. It made, I'll find the picture and I'll put it in, but basically, I laid the hat, what came out at the bottom of this, and then I frogged it because I only did a few rows, and it came halfway. So I first thought, well, that's really strange, you know, that's really weird. But when I looked at the numbers, I thought, these are exactly the same. Why? The other half of the story is the thickness of the peg. See how thick that peg is, and see how thin that peg is. Maybe you can't, I don't know. Side by side? Where am I? So that's the other half of the story. So I'm going to go through my looms when I've got a moment. It's kind of hard to find the circumference of quite a small peg, so I think the best thing I can do is wrap the whole thing, and then I will have a total number. So I'm going to do it that way, and I would like to bet that number will end up being much smaller than this number because of the thickness of the pegs. That's my theory. But I've got to find these things out because I was trying to look for certain information. I have had one question answered. This is a 62 peg loom, and I wanted to know what flat panel it would make. Just gone back and forth, back and forth. It's 25 inches, but something strange happened to it. I'll draw a picture because I frogged it. It ended up looking rather like rather small, that one, but never mind. That. So imagine that's the width of that is 25 inches, and it peaked at the top. Where am I? Peaked in the middle, and peaked at the end. And all the peaks were exactly the same height. Yes, I did. Yet I did the same amount of rows. Why? Has anybody else found that out on one of them long looms? It's done that. That is really weird. And I would have thought, oh well, maybe on the ends, maybe it's because I needed to maybe slip the end stitches rather than actually knit them. Okay, if that's the case, then why did it peak in the middle as well? Random. So that's another mystery I'd like to solve somehow. Be interesting, I suppose, doing a flat panel and round loom and see what shape it comes out. So that's the thing I'm working on. Some of you may be aware that one of these, this is a knitting board hat loom. It's an adjustable one, so you have lots of different sizes, well, 4 different sizes, which, okay, I'm going to make some comparisons here. So basically, this is a fixed gauge hat loom, and it comes in a set of 4. This one has 4 options as well, but it gives you the option of a thinner gauge. Now I thought this was chunky yarn because it said chunky yarn, but it's actually thinner than this yarn. And I only found that when I started wrapping it on the wider pegs, and I thought, that's strange. It looks barely there, so that's why I put in all the pegs, and now it's taking longer. that's the thing. You have a finer gauge loom, you can expect to take longer making something. The odd thing about this is, it is odd. This is one of the. This is if I wanted to make a small hat. So you've got an idea of these are the middle piece. And it has 3 holes in it, and if you notice, you can only put the pegs in one way because it looks like a half circle shape. These bits here, let me see if I can. You can see the lines. Actually, they're very good. This bit here is a connector piece. You can tell it's a connector piece because it's got a button at the bottom to release it. There. That's a female part, and that also has 3 holes. Well, 2 of them are occupied with the white pegs. The white pegs seem to be permanent, and the grey pegs you slot in if you want a smaller gauge. The part is actually wider than this, the connector part. But what is odd about it, and I can't figure out why they have it, is that the white pegs can you see? Am I on the right one here? There's one of the white pegs, and there's the other white peg. If I turn it round, these are the 2 white pegs. Can you see it very well? They've got grooves on the inside. Why? And it's the same on every single connector piece. They've got grooves on the inside as well as the outside, and they're the only pegs, permanent pegs, that have them. Well, the temporary pegs don't even have 2 grooves on either side either. But I can't figure out why. Because all you're going to do, for example, is if you put it in the other side, you just turn it round. And I only discovered that because I was trying to put the peg in, it wouldn't go. And I thought, why won't this go in? I thought it just snapped in like the rest of them. And then I realised I hadn't quite occupied some of the other pegs in it. I thought, oh, I've put it in the wrong way. That's strange. And that's when I discovered, oh, it's got grooves in either side. But it's the only pieces who does that, because this one doesn't. Look, there's one side, it's totally smooth. Can you see it very well? That's got a groove in it. And it's only the connector pieces that have got grooves in both sides, but I don't see the point of it when you consider the holes for the pegs that can only go in one direction. So that is just totally random. I mean, it won't affect the production of anything, it's just random. So you could easily slot it together incorrectly by putting that in the wrong way around. And you won't know until you try and put the pegs in and think, ah! So that was that. But because of this peg insertion and stuff, you probably think, that's pretty much like the Martha Stewart loom. Yeah, it is, except when you put these pegs in, one, they're easy to get in unless you're on that connector piece and you put it in the wrong way. Other than that, it is easy to get in. And 2, they don't fall out. I've never had to push them back down, unlike the Martha Stewart loom, which is unfortunate because that potential in that, the configurability of all the what you can do, is amazing in that piece. If they'd just gone that extra length to maybe like, I don't know, file down the insides of the things on the parts on the Martha Stewart loom, so they could all slot in nicely, and they made a bit more extra effort in being able to push the pegs in and keep them there and pull them out when you want, like these have gone above and beyond, and it works. That Martha Stewart loom would just like fly. I mean, absolutely fantastic. It is potentially fantastic, but just the pegs let it down really. So yeah, that was that, and it is interesting. It's just taken a while to work up, and that's me going, oh. But I'll be alright. I'm still on my sock experiment, but because I haven't been up here, I haven't done very much. I've got so far as done the first half of the heel wraps on this. The heel wraps are over here, here, and here, and I'm about to go back out again, the second half of it. This first sock I am doing the lift before I wrap, and the second sock I will not do the lift before I wrap, so I can compare them. But it'll be nice to see how that turns out. It looks rather stretched when it comes out, like, at the moment. I don't like it when it looks too stretched when it comes out. I prefer it when it looks like it's falling back into place. It's just the rest of the knitting board kit. They were like the two smaller parts to make a small hat. Or will that make a medium hat? Oh, the very small hat, is it? The petite hat is just the 2 rings, I think. 2 rings and 2 connectors. These two will make the small hat. You'll then need 4 connectors. These 2 will make, 2 like this will make the medium sized hat. And of course a connector either side. Oh, can you see that? It's got the website written on the bottom. It's embossed. Embossed, engraved. And what's the difference between embossed and engraved? Can you see that? It doesn't focus, does it? Oh, that's disappointing. But it has got the website written along the bottom there. And the pieces, okay, the big... Oh, they're the same. No, they're not. The 2 picks shorter. And of course I've got the largest ones in here. I don't even know whether this hat's going to be too big. That's the thing, you don't know until it comes out the other end, and then you can actually try it on. Because when it looks like it comes out the other end, it looks like it might not fit. It's either going to look too small or too big, and until you've actually got it off the loom, you won't know. And then there's some more pegs. I'll show you how easy these go in and how this stay in. Remove that so I don't knock the keyboard. Okay. Pegs can only go in one way. There we are. As the grooves are that way, in there, they just snap into place. That's it. It's got in dead easy. It's quite rigid. It's that one. It'll just snap out. But it really is, I am impressed with that peg. Absolutely fantastic. They got that right. Well done, knitting board. No, I can't get it out. Yeah, got it out. It's solid. It's fantastic. I think that's everything. Did anybody ask me any questions? Well, somebody asked me to show them that, so that's another question. I really must get to the comments. Thank you, Sarah, for the formula. When I get there, I'll work on that. I did actually try the sock on, and I'm nowhere near. It's very small, is it 2.25 needles? Yes, I think it is. Yeah, so I've still got a few rows to go before I get there. But putting it on metal needles to try it on was a very good idea. But I'll get to the point where I can then do the toe shaping. Yes. Okay, that is everything I've got to show you for the moment and talk about. So I look forward to seeing all your videos. And Happy New Year to everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.